Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Colleen Witz, and today we have a very special guest. Worked very hard. Didn't know how to pull some strings to get this special guest. Pinky Cole, entrepreneur. Pinky Cole is in the building. You guys may know her as the owner of Slutty Vegan. You may also catch her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I want to focus mainly on Slutty Vegan and the entrepreneur herself, self-made entrepreneur. Pinky Cole today and her journey to getting where she is today.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here.
I am beyond thrilled. Like when I say there was a small chance we were going to miss each other and I was devastated.
Well, I'm here and everything happens for a reason.
You're here. And what are you going to have us eating today?
So today we are eating my favorite go-to snack. It's a Tofurky sandwich, okay? So for the people who are vegan and not vegan, this is vegan lunch meat. And we're going to have it with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, mayonnaise, and mustard. Do you like vegan food?
I like vegan food. I will say though, I have never like made it on my own.
You have not?
No, not at all. Okay, and I will say I learned something today. Really? And I don't want to scare you. I hope this doesn't deter you from this. But the Pinky, you were like very clear, like artisan bread with no milk in it. And so we were in the grocery store and we're like, it said no milk, no eggs. And I said, but where's the vegan sign?
No, it won't say vegan. You know, and it's funny that you said that because a lot of people don't know, like, just because it doesn't say vegan doesn't mean that it's not vegan. Like, you got to read the labels. So the labels, the allergens, it'll be like eggs or
it literally
milk.
says no eggs, no dairy, no this.
Yeah.
We were over there looking like Dumb and Dumber up in there. We were like, it says all these missing ingredients that look like
so
it's
you
vegan.
Learned something
I learned
today.
it. Cool. Because we had Country Wayne on. And this is the only reason why I panicked. Because Country Wayne was like, I want baked beans. And it has to be vegan baked beans.
He was up here eating baked beans?
But it was it said vegetarian baked beans.
And the vegetarian baked
vegan.
beans are vegan. But only a vegan would know that. Yeah.
No, he was like, it has to say vegan on it. I said, there is no.
Vegetarian.
It does not. It's vegetarian. Okay. See? That's how you know I have trauma from that episode.
Yes. Okay. So you did good. You got soy-free veganese.
Yes.
Okay. So that is vegan mayonnaise. You got all of my good stuff. So you did really good.
I just skimped out on your mustard and I said, boy, I hope mustard doesn't have anything.
Mustard is mustard. So you know.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything. Yes. Okay. So I noticed eating vegan is kind of pricey though.
You think so?
This mayo was like $7.
Yeah, but it's so good.
No, we're gonna find out. I'm gonna find out with you, as a matter of fact.
Yes, you get you some bread.
And this bread came specially sealed. I'm guessing because it didn't have all the other ingredients in it.
Oh, is that why? Well, you know, when stuff is vegan, like it can go bad fast. Okay, because it doesn't have like a whole bunch of shit in it.
But you would think it would be the opposite. Yeah, you're right, because the mayo was even in the fridge.
Yeah, it got to stay in the fridge so don't go
But
bad.
it's so weird that dairy and eggs would be not refrigerated.
Ain't that weird?
But then the vegan is refrigerated.
Would be refrigerated. You know, science is crazy. Science is crazy.
Or maybe that's a testament why vegan is healthier.
Because it got to stay in the fridge?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Because isn't it like McDonald's, you eat it and then like, I'm not trying to mention McDonald's because, you know, Slutty Vegan, but you know, like you leave it in a bag somewhere and it's like stays in its original.
Oh, I seen that. Ooh.
So maybe that's what
Slutty
makes
Vegan won't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Slutty Vegan is not doing that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the vegan clearly has a shelf life.
Yeah, it really does. But you know, I've been vegan for a very long time. I have not eaten meat since 2007. So like it's gang.
What made you switch over?
You know, my mother is a Rastafarian, so I grew up like with a conscious way of thinking and eating. Okay. And in 2007, I just decided to ditch meat altogether, and I was eating fish and eating cheese. And then I opened up a Jamaican restaurant in Harlem. Because you're from New York, so you get it. Okay. If you know, you know.
Yes.
Okay. So I had this Jamaican restaurant in Harlem.
How old were you when you did this? I'm not trying to timestamp.
No, I mean, I'm a little up there. But I was 24 to 20.
That's what I was
26.
trying to say.
Yeah.
So you was you. Oh,
I was young.
I'm
the
excited.
time, I was a television producer for the Maury show. So I was like doing all the things. And then I opened up this restaurant and I just was moving and shaking. And I just woke up one day and said, you know what? I want to be vegan. Like, I don't want to eat none of what I'm eating.
A Jamaican restaurant?
A Jamaican restaurant. Selling oxtail, ackee and sawfish, curry chicken, jerk chicken, goat, all of that. And I decided to go cold turkey vegan. And maybe that's why my restaurant caught on fire.
Yeah. First of all, I can't imagine giving up that type of meat. I'm allergic to red meat.
Are you?
Let me tell you something. I will make the exception for some oxtail. I like literally I'm like, you know what? F it.
Can I tell you something?
I'm going to be sick.
I've never in my life had oxtail as a Jamaican, a real Jamaican. I ain't never had oxtail in my life. Now, I had vegan oxtail.
How you open a Jamaican restaurant and never had oxtail?
I don't know. That's a good question. Now I think about it, I'm like, the math don't math. It didn't make sense. But it worked. I had a line down the block. People was coming.
And you wasn't even curious, dip your little...
No gravy, no nothing. I had a chef. Crazy, right?
Girl.
I know.
And you did you have the goat though?
I think I had goat like once. Yeah. Something called mutton.
But you became vegan after you opened it. So
yeah, I became vegan.
Why did you eat it before?
I did.
You know what? That's why you went vegan. If you would have tried oxtail, I don't know.
You don't think so? You think that I would have been a meat
eater? If you would have tried oxtail,
no, you know what it is? Let me tell you. When I was young, there was this neighbor in Jamaica. His name was Mr. Tom, one of them. But he would slaughter the animals in the backyard and all the kids would like come around and watch it. And while everybody else was excited, I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, I don't want to watch. Why am I being subject to this? And I used to watch him do that. And I just felt so bad for the animals. And at that time, I'm just like, I'm not going to eat meat. And I feel like he scarred me. And maybe more kids need to see that when they're young.
But you ate it though. You didn't turn vegan till later.
Right. I was vegetarian.
Oh, you were vegetarian.
Because my mother didn't eat that. Right. So all we ate was fish. My grandfather was a fisherman. Like I come from a fisherman family. Jamaicans.
I saw my look. Yes. I'm a Jamaican.
Are you Jamaican?
My mom done cooked turtles that were in the stream.
Turtles?
Frogs. You know, she's an immigrant. She has cut a chicken in front of us. We saw it run around with its little head off. Too. And we still was like,
and you still eating it.
Pass the chicken.
Okay, give me that plate.
We done ate everything. Yeah.
But you know, now that I'm older and I have kids, I don't see myself ever going back to eat meat. I just don't. I'm like, who would have thought that I would create $100 million brand off of just eating vegetables? And I think that was the path that was aligned for me early on. And now here it is. I can teach people about veganism, which is the part that I love, right? Like here it is. I got Slutty Vegan. And you know, people come up to me and be like, damn, Pinky, I didn't even know fries were vegan. And I'm like, damn, there's a lot of education to be taught about veganism.
Fries are vegan.
It depends.
What do you mean it depends?
Yeah, because if it's cooked in beef tallow or whatever you call it, then it's not vegan. But people come up to me like they don't have the level of education. And that's why Slutty Vegan is so critical, because I get to meet people where they are, right? So like my audience is not even a vegan. It's the meat eater.
I believe that. Yeah. I guarantee you when I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to Slutty Vegan and I am a meat eater.
You've never had Slutty Vegan?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you're having it now. You consuming this.
I got the energy. First of all, I got the VIP energy. Level. When I go in, I'll probably go in like, you see this picture right here?
Okay, right.
I'm going to skip these red onions though.
You don't like red onions?
Should I try? I'll try.
Wait, are you Caribbean, Spanish, what?
I'm Jamaican. I'm Jewish and Jamaican.
Really? Yes. You Jamaican and you don't like onions, girl?
Cooked onions, okay?
Raw onions just hit the spot. Okay,
I'm going to try it because I want to live your life right now. I want to be taken back. So take me back to what was going on during the... Look at how she does it. We're going to zoom in on her. Zoom in on that.
Get close on this level of design right here, because, you know, it takes... a little bit of craftsmanship.
Because I tell you, if I would have done it, it would have been like, it would have been 3 slices.
It was stacked. So cute how you was like, well, this is hickory. It's all the same. It's just the flavoring.
But okay. I didn't know does hickory mean hickory ham?
Yeah, but vegan version.
I can't wait to try this.
Don't you love that? Don't that look good?
It looks good the way you're preparing it, but I promise you, I'm not only going to try this, but I'm going to force Jared to try it too. Yeah. Because he looked at that and he's like, what is that?
That looks so good. I'm really going to eat that in real life.
Good, you better. And just so you know, I'm judging this sandwich, but I'm doing it just the way you did it, just because I need to. I need to feel your energy. So take me back to what was going on when you were surviving off of this. Or not surviving, but like
surviving. I say survivor.
No, but you know what I mean. Like where this became like a staple.
This was
like a go-to staple.
Every time I ever got pregnant, I would eat this. This is like my, and I grew up in Baltimore, so like I love cold cuts. Like I love hoagies. I love cold cuts. I love anything cold, like a cold sandwich. Okay. What is it giving?
I didn't know if I was allowed to do it, but
is it good? Okay. Do you eat ham?
It tastes like regular meat.
Yeah, I told you. I love mustard too.
It actually tastes pretty. Yeah, it tastes fine.
Yeah, see. Put some in.
But I feel like good vegan tastes good.
Yeah, but you just got to know the right vegan.
Yeah, I just don't want to ever eat vegan and it feels like it's not meat. I don't know if that's. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
It just feels healthy.
Yeah, I get it. But
okay.
Did
you put a lot of mustard?
Yeah, for me, but I mean for your life.
No, I'm trying to be. I want to have the pinky experience.
We gotta do the whole thing.
Okay. Here we go.
That. But
do you put chips in your sandwich?
No, I put it on the side. I mean, you could. This is gonna be so good. Only thing that's missing, you Caribbean like me, so pepper.
You know, they had a peppered version of this. Have you tried it?
Yeah, the pepper one.
Yeah, do you like it?
I like spicy food. Like,
I was like, I wonder if she would eat this pepper one.
I love spice. Here, take that. I love spice. I can eat spice all day long.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna try this, and I want to see you eat like you hungry.
Are we? Oh, I'm hungry, so I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, guys, we thank you for this food. We thank you for the hands that prepared this meal. Us, and they pray, amen.
Amen. Okay, let's see.
Now, this wouldn't have been my bread of choice. However, you got close.
This was the closest I could get. Trust me.
Okay, put a little chip in your mouth.
I'm not even mad at the onion.
It's good, right? That's pretty good. And I'm not mad at the bread.
Well, is there nuts in the bread?
I think so.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what? Nope.
What?
The onion had a nice crunch, but that's where it landed. That's it. That aftertaste, that was a strong one too. That was a strong onion. Ooh.
That's good.
No, not that onion. Okay. All right.
That's good.
Take me back. It's great without the onion.
It's good with onion too.
You gotta like onion. And I would have lathered way more meat.
You want to put more meat on it?
No?
Only thing that's missing a little spice, but.
You know what it is? It's all the condiments that make it also good.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get into the story.
That's good.
I'll take advantage of every minute of you. The tomato makes it pop. You can't even do a sandwich without tomato after that.
Well, now you have to.
With the lettuce?
That onion a little strong. You're right.
That onion was...
Because it was thick.
I guess since this was like more of a regular go-to for you, let's go back to the beginning days. We grew up Caribbean parents. They did not eat a lot of meat.
My mother didn't eat meat. She only ate fish.
Okay. So you grow up. You go to college. Okay. You know from day one that you're gonna be an entrepreneur. Or
Yeah, my father did 22 years in prison. And while he was in prison, he would always give me like life lessons. I was just talking about this earlier, how even though he was physically behind bars, mentally he was free. So at an early age, I was able to get trained on mindset, right? Because like he wasn't a prisoner to his circumstance, So as a kid, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like my mother was and still is a lead singer of a reggae band. So I used to literally go to her shows. She took all the kids. There's this town called Ocean City, Maryland. She used to always perform in Ocean City. She would always take us. We would be on stage watching her perform. So I wanted to be a star like my mom.
Oh.
I wanted to make it. I'm gonna be like her when I grow up. And her hair is really long and it touches the ground. She has locks. So everybody just wanted to take pictures with her. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I want to be like mommy when I grow up. And it's so funny because it's a full circle moment, because here it is. Now I'm on TV. I'm doing exactly what it is that my mother did, obviously in a different capacity, but people love my mother. People love me. Yeah. People wanted to be next to my mother. They want to be next to me. That's why it's so critical. I know you say you had one child. It's so critical to expose your children to the life that you want them to have, or to the life that you live, and live loudly and live out loud. Because now that I have my young daughters, my baby looks at me and now she gets in front of the camera and she wants to take photos and she just wants to be a star. She done did a song with Jazzy Faye. Like she just wants to be that girl, but it's because she sees mommy and how I get up and I go to work and I take my pictures and I do all the things. And even when I'm talking to people and I'm motivating other people, my daughter is right there.
Wow.
Literally right there. So like entrepreneurship was instilled in me early on. And I'm so glad, because I could not imagine me doing anything else in this world. Nothing at all.
How old were you when your dad went to jail?
The day that I was born, he was being sentenced.
Jeez. And then,
can you imagine the day when I came out the womb, he was losing his freedom?
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know at the time. Yeah. I mean, but you know.
Why was it important to your mom to keep that contact with you two? I know that sounds like a weird question, but
No, it's not weird. My mother was actually married to my father for the first 13 years of my life in prison. So she held him down.
Okay.
Right. But my mother also had to move on with her life. At the time, she was an immigrant, right? Like she ended up getting her citizenship after that. And she had to put her dreams on hold. Like she was traveling the world to be a dancer, and then she started having kids, and my father was having children with other women. So like, you know how it goes. Right before. Right before. Okay, yeah. So my mother had to deal with that. So there was a lot of betrayal growing up. So she stuck beside him. Okay, P.O.P. She stuck beside him until I was about 13 years old, and she filed for divorce and she moved on with her life. And, you know, I'm happy that she did. Like she needed to regain her independence and she put her life on hold. So like now my success, I'm so happy because my mother gets to live vicariously through me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it hard to see them split up? Or was it easier because did you have to see some of her pain?
My mother has just always been a warrior. And that's where I think I get it from. Like my mother, she'll never let me see her cry. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Like she'll go in a corner and cry before she let anybody else see her weak. And she's just always been so independent. I don't know my mother to be weak at all. Like in my big age, I'm almost 40 years old and I'm still thinking here, like I do not know my mother to be a weak woman. You know what I'm saying? So like I didn't get to see that side of her because she just showed us that one side. Go make your money, go handle your business, do what you need to do for your family.
How many siblings was it?
My father has 8 and my mother has 4 of the 8.
Okay.
And we all got a sibling that's the same age as us almost.
I noticed you said that she didn't cry. I'm curious though, do you cry in front of your children?
Not in front of my children. But I do cry. You know, just recently I've been more emotional because my company went through a restructure and somebody asked me this earlier, like, so you cry a lot on the show. And I'm like, well, if you lost $100 million brand, you would cry too.
You would definitely cry.
You would definitely be crying too.
Yeah.
But I believe that level of vulnerability is just a symbolism of growth. Right. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show your scars. I am not perfect. I don't strive to be perfect. I used to, but like I'm imperfectly perfect. Right. And I've gone through, I took some blows.
You took some blows, but sometimes I feel like as an entrepreneur, it's not necessarily tears of hurt, but tears of frustration.
Yeah, it's frustration because you know you're the best. You know that you can conquer all. And sometimes some blocks get in your way. Like, and it hurts, you know, especially what I just went through the last few years of my life probably had to be the hardest. People couldn't walk half a mile in my shoes. Okay. Here it is. I built this $100 million brand, made the cover of all of these magazines, made all of these big lists, all of these accolades, been that girl for so long. Okay. Everything that I've ever put my hands on, I've gotten to one day wake up and it crumbles right in front of me. To one day, you ever had something where the people that you normally talk to, one day you picking up the phone and they won't even answer the phone for you no more. So you realize that the relationship was transactional.
Yeah, I feel like that's more in the entertainment business, you see that a lot, especially if you're at I've never made it to the top of the entertainment business. I don't know if it's like different when you're like huge and maybe the relationships are more solid. But I know when I was like in the entry level of it, man, you leave a company, you shut down a company, you out. They never talk to you again. That's the end of the relationship.
And that was my first.
I thought we were family.
Exactly. So my mindset with a lot of people was like, I thought we were family.
Yeah.
So when you see me cry and you see me like hold that hurt, it's because like I always come from a genuine space as an entrepreneur. But I also realize that those things really don't go together. There are no friends in business. And I had to learn that the hard way. It's no friends in business.
No friends or few friends.
There's no friends in business.
Dang, Pinky.
It's a sad truth.
Her first gem of the day.
Yeah, it's a sad truth. And I had to realize it too. It ain't no friends in business. Outside of business, we can be friends. But when it comes to business, there's no friends in business. It's called business for a reason. And that was one of the very big lessons that I had to learn through this whole process. Because people who I thought was my family, people who I would go hang out with, people who would come and play with my kids were the same people who turned their back on me in my darkest moments. And I'm not even mad at those people now, but they just taught me a lesson about life and business. A valuable lesson.
Yeah.
And you can't put too many expectations on people. Okay. I used to expect people to operate in the way that I operate. You cannot do that.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
And that's where a lot of the pain and frustration comes in. I'll tell you right now, you have those, I am constantly hearing that, Colleen, don't act like they're going to act the way you act and think the way you think. I'm like, why not? Yeah. Don't they have the moral code?
Yeah, no, we were raised different. That's the thing.
So prior to getting to Slutty Vegan, what was that roadmap in between?
So before Slutty Vegan, in high school, I used to throw the biggest parties in Baltimore. I was the youngest party promoter. I used to have like 1,000 people coming to my parties.
Are these high school kids?
High school parties.
Wow. And your mom was okay with it?
Yeah. She was out partying too. We were like local celebrities growing up. Okay. Like everybody knew my family. My mother would have all the biggest Jamaican celebrities coming to the house. We would have basement parties. So I just grew up in like the limelight, if you will. Okay. Right. And I used to have these parties. And I remember making more money than my mother at 15 years old. I used to be counting money on the floor.
Did you ever tell her?
She was right there counting with me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like,
did she ever take her cut?
No, I would help her. I would give her money.
I love this.
And she didn't need my money because she had multiple jobs. But like that was my first taste. Like, I want more of this.
Let me tell you something. As a mom, I don't think there's a prouder moment than that. Like, you hit that, you touched that first touch on the trophy with your kid outdoes.
Let me tell you the best moment that I ever had in my life as it relates to my mother. My first big chunk of money, I called Sally Mae. This is when it was Sally Mae. And it was a lady named like Judy. I think her name was like Judy or something. And my student loans was like $200,000, $3,000. Do you know I paid it off in one check? And then when I got off the phone, guess what I did? I picked up the phone and I paid off her mortgage. I called the mortgage company and paid off her mortgage. The house that I grew up in, I paid it off and surprised her. So that feeling where you could give back to your mother everything that she gave to you, money could never buy that. That was so priceless. But it's an end result of who I was growing up, throwing the parties. I packed up my bags and I went to college, the first one in my family to go to college and stay there. Okay. I became Miss Junior, Miss Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, the head Delta, Miss Clark Atlanta University. So I literally immersed myself because I knew that I was going to be great. Little Pinky with my Jamaican grandmother. I used to watch Laverne and Shirley and Golden Girls. And I used to be looking up like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be a star. And everybody would laugh at me like, Pinky, you're going to be crazy. I'm like, all right, watch me.
No, I definitely believe.
You understand what I'm saying?
Even if you were Little Pinky, I feel like I would be like, oh, I believe it.
Yeah. Everybody that knows me, I'm like, I'm going to make it. And that is why the power of the tongue is so real, even as entrepreneurs. Okay. Because what you believe will become. Okay. What you think about will manifest. Every single thing that I said that I was going to be, I became.
Did you not have self-doubt?
I mean, who don't have self-doubt?
I was just curious because you are confident, but I just wanted to know.
Everybody have self-doubt, but at the end of the day, like I beat that self-doubt with a bat. You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
Every single time. There's something called beautiful fear. And there's a lot of shit.
Beautiful fear?
Beautiful fear, my accent. F-E-A-R, fear. It's a beautiful fear. It's like it scares the living shit out of you. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you still gonna conquer that thing.
Yep.
Right? And you still gonna beat that thing in the head so that when it's all said and done, you're like, I did it. And there's a rush that you get, that adrenaline. It's like endorphins, like that adrenaline that you get from conquering the things that scare you crazy. That is what makes me keep going as an entrepreneur.
Now, does the ceiling... For you, how long does that high of I conquered it before you put a new ceiling on?
Every day. It's a new ceiling every day. It's called entrepreneurship.
I feel like that high is so short.
It's so short. Okay.
You're like, what's the next goal?
I'm not saying why I see why people do crack, but I mean, listen, like the window is so short. Okay. I'm looking for that next high for real.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur, like every single day we get to conquer something different. Yeah. Every day it's like, all right, it's like Pinky and the Brain. All right, brain. What we going to do to take over the world today?
I have a mural that I painted in my garage of Pinky and the Brain.
Did you?
During the pandemic. Yeah. My neighbors were driving by and it was this concept of this show.
Oh, wow.
So you'll see it literally says like Eating While Broke. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, send it
through
to
Jerry, I guess. But okay, so how did the Maury show end up in the middle of that journey?
Okay, so after I graduated from high school, I could not find a job. Here it is. I'm the most famous person on my campus, the most popular. Everybody loves me. I'm that girl. But just because you that girl don't mean nothing when it's time to make that coin, okay? I know a lot of that girls that are broke. I could not get a job. Nobody would hire me except for Teach for America. Have you ever heard of Teach for America?
No, I don't think so.
It's basically like a teaching program. And they offered me $45,000 to go to Houston, Texas to teach 8th grade English. And I'm like, I don't want to teach no badass kids. And I barely want to be in a classroom.
Oh, this is after college, not high school.
Yeah, this is after college. Okay. Yeah. So I did it anyway because I didn't have anything lined up and I didn't want to be an embarrassment. This was in the height of the pandemic. So I will never forget it. I moved to Houston, Texas with my dog, Rudy. And I was out there and on day 5, I'm like, I can't do this.
Wait, in the height of the pandemic?
I'm not the pandemic. Yeah. All of it's the same. What is it called?
Another one of those crashes?
Yeah, that.
Like an economic crash? That. 2008 crash? Which crash are we talking about?
That one. Okay. Because I graduated in 2009. That crash. Okay. They all the same.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Different titles on it. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, wait, what?
That.
Okay. So the recession. I remember that. It was very a noticeable impact. Yes.
So it was during a recession and I didn't know when the next opportunity was going to come. So I went. But on day 5, I'm like, I can't do this no more. So my friend who was also there, I asked him if he could give me enough money to go to the airport. He gave me $40. I ain't had no money. I don't never, ever in my life want to be that broke again.
Yeah.
He gave me $40.
Me never in life, ever.
Okay. Ever. He gave me $40 and I went to the airport. And it was me and my dog, Rudy. And it was a guy from, it's funny because years later, he actually sent me a DM. But it was a guy that worked at Southwest Airlines. And I was just bawling, crying. And he walked up to me and he was like, what's your name? What's wrong? And I told him, I'm like, I'm so defeated. I just don't know what's going on. Like what my path in life is. Everything that I've ever touched has turned to gold. Like I've always been that girl. He said, I'll be right back. This man left. He came back and he gave me $240 so that I can get on AirTran. That's how long ago it was. Okay. You remember AirTran? See, I might be older than you. I don't know. But it was something called AirTran. Okay. For me and my dog to get on that plane. And I feel like that was one of my big lessons in life, that you don't do anything that does not make your belly leap. Okay. You are in control, right, of how you show up in the world. And if it doesn't feel right to you, if you do not feel comfortable, you do not do that thing, because I will never do anything that makes me uncomfortable, that makes me unhappy ever again. And the rest is history. After that, I packed up my bags and I moved to LA. For the first time. I lived in LA twice. Okay. Yeah, so I moved to LA with a duffel bag, a suitcase, and a Bible, and 30 resumes that my mother printed out for me from work.
And how much money in the bank account?
I had like $250.
Oh, LA whooped you, but
they whooped me. Okay. But when I came in the
how long did the $250 last?
Not long. But in the first 6 days, I got 2 jobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one working at DSW. Okay. And then the other one working at Universal Studios. It's Sugar. I don't even know if that's still there. It's
I remember Sugar. That.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got a job working at the census. I saved up enough money Man, damn. I'm really having a full circle moment right now.
I'm just curious. Oh, I don't want to interrupt the full circle, though.
No, you know why it's a full circle moment? Because I could remember I literally found somewhere to stay on Craigslist. I put my life at risk to follow my dream. And my mother allowed me to do it. But it's important to have people around you that like believe in what it is that you're doing. She ain't even asked me no questions. You let your daughter go to this foreign place by herself with no plan. I had no plan.
But you got to understand, if you were my child, from everything I've heard, oh yeah, I'm betting on you.
She let me go.
And she it sounds like there was a lot of faith in your household where she knew God was going to protect you.
She let me go, and I went out there, got a place to live on Craigslist. That didn't last long. Found another place from Craigslist.
Oh, it didn't. Okay.
It was 10 of us in a 3-bedroom house.
Okay.
3 of us in 1 bedroom, paying $300 a month in LA. You know that LA living, okay? When you're trying to grind.
Now I'm curious. You had such a strong resume from being younger, seeing yourself. Assign yourself a task and complete it as an entrepreneur. You're applying for these jobs, which is kind of unique because you've already proven. I think once you get that first hit of like, I can produce money on my own, your body starts to look at things in opportunity. No,
of course.
So were you picking up side hustles while these jobs? Like, was the entrepreneur in you still like, hey, I got a little...
Well, you know, it's funny because I started doing background work, and I'm aging myself, but this was when Glee was out, so I would do background work for Glee. You remember that show, Glee?
Yeah. Stop asking me.
You remember? You don't remember Glee? Oh my goodness, your audience is gonna be like, "What in the hell?" But Glee was
I lived in a box.
Glee was a really big show once upon a time. Do y'all remember Glee? Yeah, Glee was a big show.
Jared, you didn't remember? He's like 20.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Good night. Glee.
I lived in a box, okay?
So anyway,
and a Jamaican mom, so you know.
Okay, so you understand.
Okay.
Okay, so Glee, you're really Jamaican.
Yeah.
So Glee was...
I got my ass whooped Jamaican, okay? Immigrant mom Jamaican.
Okay. So Glee was a big show, and I was doing background work on Glee, and then I got an opportunity to work as a production assistant on a show called Judge Karen's Court.
Okay.
Okay. And surprisingly, I was really good at it. I'm like, how the hell? I want to be in front of the camera, like not behind the scenes. And my sorority sister got me the job there. And while I was there, I got a call from a show in New York called the Jeremy Kyle Show. Have you ever heard of that?
I feel like I've heard of that.
Okay. And it was like, hey, we want you to come to New York. And I'm like, shit, I'll pack my bags up. I'll go to New York. Like, ain't nothing stopping me. And this was probably like a year into being in LA. Okay. And then I moved to New York. And I was working on the show for like 2 years. And then that's when the Maury show called me.
Okay.
And Maury.
So you're moving up the ranks. Your reputation is building.
Listen.
You're passionate about it?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that I'd be passionate.
I was going to say, if you're good at it, you must be passionate.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, we like you. We want you to come over to Maury. So I left and I was working at Maury for almost 3 years.
Wow.
And that was kind of like my first real opportunity to realize that we all got problems.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was the Maury Show, Jerry Springer era, you know, where every time you turned on the TV, you watched it. But I will tell you, I learned something really funny about that show. I don't know anyone else that took this away, but I was like, oh, don't you ever fall in love with a guy with no teeth or whatever, you know, some disgusting guy, and end up fighting over this guy. Okay. So I remember one time in my life, I dated this really unattractive boyfriend for years, and
why would you do that?
I just thought he was smarter than me, and I liked it, like almost like the intellectual thing. He didn't treat me great, but I remember being like jealous, and I'd be like, "Don't be jealous. Remember the Jerry Springer? He is not cute. You're just in love." And I would tell myself that all the time. I'd be like, "Yo, he's ugly, and remember that."
Yeah, I've had a couple of them in my life.
Yeah, see, we've all done it.
Yeah.
Yep. And also what I also learned is that just because they're ugly doesn't mean they're going to treat you better either.
Sometimes they'll treat you worse.
Yeah, I feel like he treated me terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oof. My girlfriend saw me. She was like, what is wrong with you, Colleen?
I'm glad you graduated from that. Okay?
Oh, I did. Okay, so I just wanted to let you have a bite in because I know you're hungry.
So good.
Okay, so you start to move up the ranks. What happens at the Maury Show where you pivot?
One of my friends who owned a Jamaican restaurant, he told me that there was a restaurant available that I could sublease. Like I could take over somebody's lease, and it was like $2,400 a month. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. And I didn't know anything about the restaurant business.
The toughest business in the world.
What? Tough. Oh my God. But I went in there And I just started putting stuff together, and I opened up my first Jamaican restaurant. It was called Pinky's Jamaican and American Restaurant.
Wow.
And it was on 145th between 7th and 8th. Shout out to Harlem. And I literally made a living for myself. And at the time, I was making like $30,000 a month. That's not a lot now, but that was
in your girl,
I'm in my 20s.
First of all, $30,000 a month right
for
now.
For a restaurant, yeah. I'm like, okay.
But gross or like what you were taking home?
Gross.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Yeah. But at the time, that was good, right? For where we were in the world. But I did not have fire insurance when I opened up that business. So I remember one day
in a restaurant business.
In the restaurant business, like, why wouldn't you get the fire insurance? That's a part of one of the things I talk about in my book. I Hope You Fail. Like, get the fire insurance. Like, you need to get the security. I closed the store one day, and the fire department called me when I went home. And they said, "Hey, Miss Cole, you need to come back down here. Your restaurant is on fire." And this is a space where I was working day and night. I'm talking about blood, sweat, and tears. Still working in Maury. I would go to Maury.
Oh, you were doing both?
Yes. I told you I was Jamaican. Yes.
Yes. Like a true Jamaican.
Okay. I was doing both and coming home and just grinding out. And that was in Connecticut. Okay. Maury was in Connecticut.
So you were going back and forth from Connecticut to Harlem?
Yes.
So you were over grind time. You were probably burnt out a little bit too?
Yeah. I've been grinding for a long time. Yeah. And I went and I saw my restaurant and I was looking like, damn, everything that I worked for, like I'm watching it crumble in real time. But let me tell you, this is for the entrepreneurs too. When things feel like it's crumbling, it really is only a gateway for something else that's better. Because a week after that, I got a call from an executive producer for a show called Iyanla Fix My Life. Are you familiar with that show?
Stop asking me
Okay, I gotta ask you.
Wait, Iyanla Fix My Life?
Yes.
Okay.
You know that one.
Stop, Piggy.
Oh my gosh. I'm about to take your card from you. Whatever card. All your cards. Okay. Your Irish card, your Jamaican, all of them.
Just blame it on the white.
Okay.
The white side of me is messed up. All right.
So Iyanla Fix My Life was a really big show. It was a really big therapy show. So on the OWN network.
Okay.
So I got a call to work on that show. And I'm like, you know what? I'm packing up all my stuff. I ain't got nothing to lose. Here it is. I'm trying to fight this. I'm fighting this eviction. I'm getting kicked out. It's
eviction
just so
from what? The fire?
Well, I mean, I lost everything. I had a business.
Oh, because you went money up.
Yeah, money
up.
Oh, shit.
Everything. So I'm just curious. You were crying during that era, right?
Yeah. It was a lot. I was depressed.
Yeah.
Then I was in a bad relationship. You know how I go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, so that was the call that saved my life. You know how they say saved by the bell? That was the bell that saved me. Because when I said yes to that, I literally packed my bags up and I moved to LA. They was like, how much you want to make? I'm like, $4,000 a week. And they was like, sure, we'll give you that.
You were like, after you hung up, I should have asked for more.
But that was the most that I've ever gotten. So I'm like, hell yeah. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could damn near.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, especially with what I just went through.
Exactly.
So I moved to LA.
That was right after.
It was right after. The timing. I'm telling you, God had to pull me up off the ground. God said, I got you. That's why I'm always patient with God, man. Like before I used to be like, God, why is this happening to me? What's going on? But God will really take you out of a tough situation uncomfortably just so that you could be somewhere better. And while I was in LA, I was working on the show for almost 3 years, living in LA for the second time. And then I got the call to work on the show in Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to Atlanta for 3 months. This makes sense. And while I was down there, I was in my 2-bedroom apartment and I was in a relationship at the time. He shall not be named.
Good job.
And
leave that sucker.
There was a strong strand of marijuana in that room that I smoked. And I'm not even a smoker. And that was the best weed I ever smoked in my life, girl. Okay? Because that is when I came up with Slutty Vegan.
You're hilarious. I was like, where did the weed?
You were trying to figure out where the story was going?
You said
yes. That is how I came up with Slutty Vegan. And if I could ever find that strand again, I would become a dealer. Okay? Because.
Okay. So you're high and you're sitting there and you're thinking, take me through this thought. Not the name, obviously. No, did you come up with the name and everything?
I'm sitting there. I'm like, Slutty Vegan. And it hit me out of nowhere. And I called my friends. I'm like, Slutty Vegan, what y'all think about that name? They were like, we love it. We love it. We love it.
It was it's such a catchy name.
Thank you. And everything that I've ever done prior to that point made sense. Right? Because I'm a television producer. I got to make something that's racy and raunchy, that's not going to make sense to the naked eye, but it makes sense to me and it sparks conversation and dialogue. This is genius.
I promise you I didn't catch it until you said it. I said, oh shit, everything lined up.
Everything lined up.
That's
why I said the story is
crazy.
already written, right? Like our stories in life as individuals, as entrepreneurs, whether it's good or bad, every single thing that we go through, it's for a reason. Your bad relationship was so you didn't get no more bad apples, so that you can identify who your husband would be.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? Like the me losing it all was so that I can gain a new era of clarity to be able to create $100 million brand. That probably would have never happened if my restaurant didn't catch on fire.
Yeah.
Right? Coming up with a name, Slutty Vegan, and know what's going to make people pay attention, I probably would have never gotten that if I didn't work as a producer for the Maury show. You understand what I'm saying? So all of these things have worked together for my good, and it's allowed me to create something that helps people to reimagine food, that has made history time and time again.
Time and time again. So once you come up with this idea, what are your next steps? Are you sharing any of this information? I see you reached out to some friends and said, hey, what do you think of this? Which I'm always afraid of now that I'm older. I'm like, I don't tell people stuff in the incubator
I don't
stage
anymore, because now something just recently happened. I went to a production studio and I gave an idea to a really big production house, and I see the idea all over the internet, and I'm just like, I know that came from me.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, at your level, I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh no, never again. Because I know I have really good ideas.
Yeah. We need to hang out with you in your high.
Yeah. Okay, that part. Okay.
But okay, so you come up with this idea and you go full-fledged into it. You're still working in production. You're making good money. You kick loser boy to the. He was not loser, but ex that we will not name.
We will not name him.
Okay. You kick him to the curb, okay, and you pursue Slutty Vegan?
Well, I was pursuing Slutty Vegan, and I was still working at the time.
Which isn't new for you at this point.
No, but I got fired. That was new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, another setback.
But every setback in my life has set me up.
Okay.
Every single one.
But at this point, are you believing this at that time?
But I'm telling you full circle, which is why I want to be like the halo messenger for entrepreneurs who are going through a tough time. Because when I got fired from my job, do you know that same day I fed Jermaine Dupri, Snoop Dogg, and Lil Duval after working a 16-hour day, going to something called Jeju, which is like a 24-hour spa. And Jermaine Dupri called me like, hey, Snoop Dogg want to try the food. Can you bring the truck? This was the day that I got fired. This is the day that I'm feeling defeated. Like, all right, what I'm going to do? What's my plan? Like, I got this truck. It's popular, but I needed the supplemental income. And literally when Snoop Dogg ate that food, went up like a rocket ship.
Wow.
Went up like a rocket ship.
Wow.
And getting fired was the best thing that could have happened because it forced me to lock in on my business. So you see the through line here? Bad things happen for a reason. They're really not bad. It's just a part of your testimony and your story. I'm sure that you've been through stuff in your life, right? So now at my big age, when things happen, like just recently, I filed for bankruptcy, okay, personally, because I had to restructure my company. I had $20 million in debt. But every time I'm feeling defeated, I think about the time where I lost everything and I got an opportunity. Do you know when my business restructured, that was when I got the call to do Real Housewives of Atlanta? So just because bad things may happen, better things happen right with it.
But when you were going through it, and I only want to highlight this not to be negative, but I want entrepreneurs and people out there to know that while you were going through it, it did feel real.
Yeah, it was real while I was going through it.
Because you come out on the other end. Like if sometimes people could look at you and say, "Oh, well, she survived it and she's thriving again," and I'm curious to that too. If you survive a storm, you thrive. You survive a storm and thrive. Do you still have a limited, less confidence, even though you've whooped butt on storms?
Listen. Somebody who is in remission from cancer, that doesn't erase the story just because they survived it, right? The history is still there. The trauma is still there. You won't erase that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I don't feel like that no more. That's not true.
Yeah.
Right? The trauma of the past still lingers, but it's all about your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to live my life optimistically. Anybody that know me, like, yeah, bad shit may happen, but I like to live my life on the up and up, because at the end of the day, what you gonna do? You gonna sit and cry all day? Like, yeah, I'm gonna have my moment, but I'm gonna keep it pushing, and I'm gonna find a better avenue to be able to deal with what it is that I'm going through. So yes, I look back and I see some of the things that happened to me, but you know how many lives I done saved from my story? Yeah. You know how many people I've encouraged just because of the things that I've been through? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't take that for granted. And this is not like cliche. There's so many people that I've been able to bless just by way of my visibility and my transparency.
Okay. No, I appreciate you. Just in case this stays in the edit, I just found out Picky only has 5 more minutes. Okay, I'm going to take advantage of my 5.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So you built Slutty Vegan. I watched your success, very excited about it. It blew up. Every celebrity and influencer was like all in it. It went from a truck to a what do you call it? Brick and mortar, right? That's the term. I should know this. Now, do you think a part of I don't want to, and I really want you to share this, but do you think some of what led to bankruptcy was how fast you grew? Could you have grown? Was it like a too fast growth situation?
My situation wasn't a too fast growth. My infrastructure was always clean.
Okay.
Right. Businesses grow fast all the time. I just didn't have the right team that needed to go there. I had good people, but I didn't have the right team. Did you hear what I said? You can have good people and it still not be the right team.
How do you determine the good people versus the right team?
If I could turn back the hands of time, you have to get people that are in alignment with the level of scale that it is that you're trying to get to. Okay. So say you want to start a basketball team. Okay. And you know, you need to find the players. You're not going to get advice from somebody who got a pickleball team. Okay. Cause they're going to give you pickleball players. You're trying to build basketball. You understand what I'm saying? And that is the biggest mistake that I made. I was putting pickleball on a basketball court, right? So they were great. They were pros in pickleball.
Yeah.
But when it came time to play basketball, it's like, okay, I ain't never do this before. Let me figure it out. That's really what happened, right?
Do you, as an entrepreneur, do you think that as you grow, it's your responsibility to do your research to find the right team?
It is absolutely my responsibility. The breakdown in my business is absolutely my responsibility. It may not be my fault getting to $20 million in debt. It may not be my fault that I got lawsuits in business that I didn't know about. It may not be my fault, but it is my responsibility. You know why?
Because you're the leader.
Because I'm the leader. And when you are a leader,
I love your attitude.
Thank you. You take the good with the bad. Yeah. I could be out in a whole bunch of people right now, but for what? It's my responsibility. I created this business. I allowed certain things to go on in my business, and I didn't pay attention when I needed to pay attention. And this is the end result. It'll never happen again.
How did your ego play a role in any of this?
Oh, it killed it. It killed my ego.
And then did you actually have to have a talk with yourself about it?
Oh, every day.
To say, hey, this is your ego versus this is who you are?
Well, for a long time, like I could have saved myself a lot of stress when my business was going through its period if I would have just said, you know what, okay, let's restructure now. But I kept holding on because my ego was in the way. Here it is, one of the most powerful entrepreneurs in the world. And I was too worried about the opinions and judgments of other people if I looked like a failure. That was my ego. I wasn't thinking like a businesswoman. Because if I was thinking like a businesswoman, I would have cut my losses earlier. You understand what I'm saying? But now it's like I needed to go through that at this level in business because where I'm going, eyes have not seen. And I need to learn these lessons now so that when I get to where I'm trying to go, it's going to be that much easier and it won't be as expensive.
Yeah. Now we're going to get to the fun part. We need to talk about, I'm sure we're cutting it close, the book. And I want to talk about franchise opportunities because I want to take notes, on what does it take to qualify to become a franchisee of Slutty Vegan?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So we are franchising We've already closed several deals, which I'm excited about.
Okay.
If you want to be a franchisee, you got to pay $40,000.
Okay.
That's the buy-in. And then on my FDD, it costs between $555,000 to $1.1 million to open up a Slutty Vegan. However,
what's FDD mean for the
franchise
layman's?
disclosure document?
Okay, got it.
Basically, it's the Bible for your business. Okay.
Okay, so they need that much money, like in a bank sitting, or
no? You got to have that buy-in fee. You can go and get an SBA loan. You can get a loan. You can get private equity. But what most people are doing now is they're finding second-generation locations, so locations that already exist. So then it can cut your costs.
When you say locations, that you mean Slutty Vegan locations that already exist, or restaurants?
Restaurants that have already existed as a former burger and fry joint that you can go and get your spot. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like we are franchising in real time, and that's really what 2.0 is. Like I'm scaling the business on somebody else's dime. I'm finding the best operators and still looking for the best operators that want to own their own Slutty Vegan. I have an incredible brand.
You do. And then I have another question. They get the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. This is speaking from a normal entrepreneur who loves the brand. Mm-hmm. So they come to you, they pay the fee. Well, I guess you accept the application, they pay the fee, they gain access to the money. Is there like a training or like, you know how some people have like a university or something to...
We have Slutty University.
Okay, cool.
So it is a training.
Okay.
So we give you all of the tools. Like you come on board, we show you every step of the way how to open up a Slutty Vegan and how to do what it is that we do and ensure that you will be successful.
Okay. And then are you comfortable talking about like what the splits kind of look like as a franchisee?
Yes. So basically we get 6% of the net sales of whatever it is that you make. Okay. So all the other money goes to you.
Wow.
But 6% of net sales goes into my pocket.
And then do you guys help with the sourcing of the ingredients and all
with
that?
Everything. It's like done for you. It's turnkey. And that's why people franchise, because they're buying into an already existing engine, you know?
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yes.
And then now, is it possible for like, say, a city like California, if someone wanted to come in, is it completely off the grid to have a Slutty Vegan truck? Is that still possible as a franchisee?
It's very possible. Why, do you want one?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I'm totally asking for myself.
Okay, I can tell. Right.
Okay. You got your team is killing me. All right, I want to hear about the book, and then I will follow up with you. I already been trying to, Yes.
But I hope you fail. It is a book that is a Bible for people who want to shift their mindset. I'm a mindset shifter. I've gone through a whole lot in my life, as you can tell. But I've also been able to learn some valuable lessons from the things that I've gone through. And I'm teaching people just like you how to utilize your mindset to turn that negative into a positive. Yes. So that book is available everywhere.
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, shoot. I got to get it before I go to the airport.
You got to get it.
You didn't bring a copy?
No,
I should have got a copy.
But you got to get it. And I'll sign it.
I hope you fail. You promise?
Yes.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yes.
When I get my franchise, we're going to get some videos.
Yes.
And the book signing together.
And I love that you didn't ask me a lot about the show, but I'm going to plug it anyway.
Oh, sorry about that.
So Real Housewives of Atlanta every single Sunday. So you'll see a lot more of this resilience on the show.
Okay. Yeah. I hope you fail Slutty Vegan and watch the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.
Thank you.